Yo, big weekend of football coming up. The Premiership is back. So I'm going to give you my Premiership prediction for the 2026-2027 season. So coming in as champs, I'm going to have to give it to the Arsenal. I feel like they are the only steady team out of the big six, the so-called big six. I think the rest of the teams have got different managers, a lot of transitional players. So yeah, I feel like Arsenal are the only steady team that's just built on top of what they already had last season without taking away. Do you know what I mean? Without losing a manager, without losing top players, they've just added to their current team. So Arsenal at number one. Runners up. Number two, I'm gonna put United. For me, I'm not confident in City. The only thing what might put City in second place as a runners up could be Haaland, could be the sheer force of the Norwegian Viking might just edge United out of that second spot. But overall, I would say the fact that Carrick's in his second season, having a full transfer window under his belt, a full pre-season under his belt, the signings that we've made. People keep going on about not adding to the back four, but sometimes that could be a blessing because City's back four right now is just, you've got midfielders at right back, midfielders at left back. You got Diaz, looks like his legs have gone a little bit. You've got Garvidal that hasn't played centre back for a while. Obviously, you got Gay as well, but it's all a bit mumble jumble, that City. Who's sitting in front of those? Is it going to be Anderson? Is it going to be, do you know what I mean? I'm seeing them putting Rico Lewis in centre midfield again. It's just a bit up in the air at City. So, but I think their attack will pull them through and get them third spot. I think City will come in at third. And the fourth spot, I'm going to give it to Chelsea. I think Chelsea could be dark horses. I think midfield and going forward, as long as Pedro stays fit, I think they'll be dangerous. Especially given that they've only got one game a week. They're only playing Premiership football. They haven't even got Europa to think about. So I think Alonso's got a good squad there where he can rotate formations, whether that's a 5 or whether that's a 5 at the back playing with wing backs, or whether that's a 4-2-3-1. You can rotate. And with the likes of Rodgers and Palmer going forward behind Pedro, that's a dangerous front three. And then in the middle of the park, they put Enzo aside. Whilst Lavia's fit, Lavia and Caicedo, that's one of the best partnerships in centre midfield you can have. That the only rival for a direct partnership would be Tottenham. So yeah, I put Chelsea at fourth. Liverpool, I gave them fifth, but Liverpool, and then I got Spurs sixth. But honestly, they could interchange. Like, it all depends on, I feel like it depends on Spurs' goals threat. Can Spurs score enough goals to get that fifth place or even that fourth place? Because I think defensively, even in midfield, they're all good. But going forward, that lack of goals might just trouble them. But who knows? They might keep enough clean sheets to counteract it. So yeah, I just had them at sixth. Liverpool at fifth. Because they still got that experience. They still got that know-how. They still got Premiership winners. I think their squad will be stretched a bit thin in certain areas unless they, I'm just talking currently, unless they make certain additions. And even if they make these additions, I'm not seeing them linked with many Premiership players. It's a lot of players coming from different leagues, which again, like last season, we saw a lot of players at Liverpool needed that transitional period. So again, it looks like another bedding in period for these new players that could be coming in later on in the transfer window this summer, missing a pre-season with Liverpool and then having to get used to the Premier League. Okay, so yeah, I had them at fifth. So let me go through it again. I've got Arsenal as the winners, United as runners-up, City in third, Chelsea in fourth, Liverpool at fifth, and Spurs at sixth. Signing of the season, I've gone for Tielemans. Purely because the price in this current market, the price for a top, deep-lying playmaker, centre midfielder with Premiership experience, proven at the highest level. A leader. Yeah, a leader. No real controversy around his name. I feel like at 34, 35 million, I haven't seen a better signing in the Premiership. Like when you're talking about, do you know what I mean? Players similar level to, as a similar age, similar level to him, like Bruno G, top player as well, has gone to Arsenal for literally double. 70 million, do you know what I mean? 70 to 75 million. So it just goes to show you the brilliant deal that United got with Tielemans. For me, signing of the season. And then just honourable mention to Manzambi over at Aston Villa. I honestly believe I would have loved to see him at United. I hope he goes to United within a season or two, to be honest. Yeah, as we phase out Bruno, I'd love to see Manzambi come in. But just an honourable mention, because I believe Manzambi will be, when he leaves Villa, I believe he will be £100 million player. I'm going to tweet it as well, so we can come back to the tweet. Do you know what I mean? When he moves on from Villa, gets that £100 million plus move, we'll come back to the tweet a little bit later, yeah? If you ain't following me on Twitter already, just said it, go and give me a follow. Right, the best attack in the Premiership 2026-27 season. So top three, yeah? So I'm going best attack, best midfield, best defence. I'm going to pick the top three teams. So, best attack. Number one is City. You got Haaland through the middle and Semenyo to the right. That alone just defeats almost every other attack in the Premiership. Those two alone. So then you add Doku to it as well, who isn't on that level, but what Doku does is he attracts so many defenders towards him because he's so tricky. You have to double up on him minimum, and then sometimes he even attracts a third player to him. What that does, it creates space for the likes of Haaland and Semenyo to finish off the moves. So yeah, City number one for attacking, best attack in the Premiership. Second, Manchester United. So you got Sesko up front and Bumo to the right, Cunha to the left. That's Prem proven from last season. Every one of those got double figures. Yeah, and that's in their first season for Manchester United. That's in half a season playing in a weird system with Amorim, then changing systems with Carrick. That's with two different managers. So with a steady preseason behind them under Carrick, yeah, with the likes of Tielemans behind them now, yes, Santos, Maino. Remember, Maino wasn't playing for the first half of the season. Bruno. Yeah, I can only see the output for those three getting better and improving. And in third place, I'm going to go Chelsea. They got Pedro, Palmer, and Rodgers. That's if Alonso plays the five at the back with wing backs, with the double pivot, and then the left 10 and the right 10 being Palmer and Rodgers behind Pedro. But even if Alonso switches it up and goes with a 4-2-3-1, then all of a sudden he can tuck Palmer into the cam, Esteval as right wing, Rodgers as left wing, and Pedro up front. I think their attack is, yeah, pretty formidable. Konda as well coming in as that right wing back or right winger as well. Do you know what I mean? I think their attack's pretty decent, to be fair. So yeah, those are my top three. Again, I'll go again. Best attack in the Premiership 2026-27 is City with Haaland, Semenyo and Doku. United with Sesko and Buma, Cunha, and then Chelsea with Pedro, Palmer and Rodgers. Let's move on to best midfield. Now, I've gone Arsenal number one. However, I am still a little bit confused as to who's going to start. So I chose Arsenal on the basis that I'm just assuming that Declan Rice is going to be put back into that holding midfield position, that DM position, single pivot. Or assuming that Arteta might tweak it and do a double pivot with Rice and Bruno G, allowing one to go, one to stay, one to go, you know what I mean? Rotating who goes and who stays. Or even if they do it as a single pivot, I would assume that Rice would be the single pivot with Bruno G to the left as a floating eight as they started the season last season, and Odegaard to the right as a floating eight to the right. Either way, I think that trio has to be Do you know what I mean? The most solid in the league this year. In second position, I've got Chelsea. Now, that's off the basis that Alonso is going to play with a double pivot. Yeah, wing backs, double pivot, left 10, right 10. So that double pivot, as I said, because I'm putting Enzo to the side right now. We don't know. It's a bit up in the air with Enzo. So that double pivot of a fit Lavia and Caicedo, we've seen it in spurts last season. It's just formidable. It's just almost impenetrable. Like it's a proper midfield, proper ball winning players that can play as well. Especially Lavia, they can play as well. And even if you convert that into a free, if they play a double pivot, the 4-2-3-1, so a double pivot with a cam in front, and then you've got Caicedo and Lavia in the double pivot, and then either Rodgers or Palmer in the cam ahead of them. Like that's undoubtedly second for me. In third place, now this was a tricky one. I put Spurs. And so I put Spurs. You got Tonali and Fernandes as a double pivot, Maddison in the cam. However, if Man United, which is likely to happen, get the Baleba deal over the line, Tielemans, Baleba and Bruno could challenge that. I would even say could outdo them because no doubt I'll have Bruno over Mads. And as a double pivot, I think complementary-wise, Baleba and Tielemans work better than Tonali and Fernandes. Individually, Tonali and Fernandes are better players, but those three, Bruno, Tielemans, Baleba, complement each other more than Tonali, Fernandes and Mads for me. So yeah, but as it stands, I'll have Spurs in their third place. So a quick run through again. Best midfield in the Premiership 2026-2027 is Arsenal first position with Bruno, G, Rice and Odegaard. Chelsea with Caicedo, Lavia, and Spurs with Tonali, Fernandes and Maddison. Right, so moving on, last one, best defence. Who has the best defence in the EPL 2026-27 season? Again, I'm going for Arsenal, number one. Yeah, even without Saliba, they've made a signing. They've got Konza coming through the door. They've got, Mosquera there as well. Obviously, alongside Gabriel. Timber, while he's not there, they've got White. And then left back, they've got Calafiori. They've got Nkapia on the bench as well. I think their back four is just, do you know what I mean? I think Spurs, though, come quite a close second because Spurs have Porro, who's undoubtedly going to be their first choice right back. You got Van Heck, who's undoubtedly going to be their first choice right centre back. Then you have Van der Ven, left centre back, Udogie left back. However, you can also put Van der Ven into his international position, the position that he plays for the Netherlands as a left back, and be a little bit more defensively solid, and you can bring in Senesi to that left centre back role. So then you've got Porro, Van Heck, Senesi, and Van der Ven. That back four for me, definitely second. And then I've got a dark horse in the third position. Hear me out. Nottingham Forest. Yeah, Nottingham Forest. They're now playing a three at the back. And that three at the back is none other than the new signing, Diamonde. Yeah, he's at right centre back. You got Murillo at left centre back. And then you got the big Serbian man Mountain in the centre of that back three. Listen, that I'm telling you, that back three is one to be reckoned with. I'm telling you. So I'll go for it again. Best defence in the EPL 2026-27 season will be Arsenal, number one, Spurs at number two, and then Nottingham Forest at number three. Now I'm telling you, you look at the rest of the big six, yeah? United, defences, do you know what I mean? Shaw, Dalot slash Mazraoui. Right now it's Maguire heaven. It's a bit, do you know what I mean? City is just up in the air. Chelsea is just not ready. Liverpool is just shaky, leaky. So yeah, apart from Arsenal and Spurs, I think Forest is the next best one. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. Love.